Welcome everyone back to Weekly Weather Updates, and my first video for today we're going to be having a look at the latest on the Met Office stats for July 2021. It was provisionally the UK's joint 5th warmest on record, 3rd warmest for Scotland and Northern Ireland, 9th warmest for Wales and 11th warmest for England. And as I said in my video yesterday, that we were just going to have a look through the data that's been released today. Temperatures, rainfall, sunshine amounts and even lightning strikes as well, so do stay tuned for the end video for that. But do remember, if you enjoy my videos, make sure you do like and subscribe, and do remember to follow me on Twitter as well, links in the description. So this will be my first video of today. I'll look at the latest on the forecast later today, and it's looking very unsettled for August, which will be similar to what we saw in July. But July was actually, as I said earlier, being the 5th warmest on record. It was warm, of course, and you can see at the mean maximum temperatures, these are the actual values, and you can see across many areas, the average temperature was between 20 to 22 degrees. A few spots in the West Midlands, near Bristol area, got up to 24, 26 degrees for the actual mean temperature, and that was because of that heat wave we saw, where the maximum temperatures across that sort of 7-day heat wave were down in the southwest into the West Midlands as well. But you can see over Scotland, a little bit cooler, around 14, 16 degrees, but you can see largely it was around 20 to 22 degrees. If we do have a look at the 1981 to 2010 anomaly, you can see how it was actually the warmest against the anomaly further northwards in Scotland, where largely we haven't seen as much rain as usual. Further southwards and eastwards, although overall it's come out as a more than average month, locally it's actually been an average month down in the southeast, simply because of the amount of cloud and rain observed there. But largely things are looking around 0.5 to 1.5 above average, and around 2.5 to 3.5 above average for the mean maximum temperature up in the northwest. Now the CET came in at around 2.5 degrees above average, so it just shows you that it's those warm nights that really held up that anomaly. So if we do have a look at the sunshine amounts first, which very much will drive those warmer temperatures, you can see these are the actual values. You can see largely down in the south and southwest and western parts, because a lot of the time we did have the wind coming in from the east or southeast, as we had quite anticyclonic conditions, at least further northwards and eastwards at times, and it did drag in a bit of cloud. And you can see around the southwest we did see 240 to 280 sunshine hours, whereas further northwards and eastwards, of course, with more of an influence of the jet stream, more down to 40 or 80 actual hours. I suspect, again, if we had a different similar pattern, we would have seen more sunshine further eastwards, but it's because we saw that week of anticyclonic conditions with a bit of cloud in the east, which racked up loads of cloudy hours in the east and loads of sunshine hours further west. And if we do have a look at the anomaly, you can see again that well reflected. The east coast was around 70 to 90% of average. Further westwards got above 100% of average. Some areas, especially northern Scotland, northwest Scotland, got up to 170% of the average. So if we now have a look at the mean minimum temperature, if we look at the actual value, you can see how it was pretty warm, around 14 degrees or so, quite widely in England and Wales. In some of the cities got up to 14 to 16 degrees. Further northwards, of course, a little bit cooler, around 8 to 10 degrees. But it's very interesting to have a look at the anomaly, where largely it was 0.5 to 1.5 above average, and even a bit warmer further northwards as well. And that is what drove up the CET. Not only the warm temperatures in the day, but it was the warm temperatures at night. Not really only a few real specks of white on this map, which is around average. So just shows you how warm those anomaly temperatures, and again that's 1981 to 2010. If we go back to the 1961 to 1990, you can see how it was even warmer on the anomaly. If we do have a look at the rainfall amounts, now these are the actual values, and this sort of gradient is more so you can relate it to, for example, January, where we could see 300 millimeters or so in some regions. So what we really have to look at here is the anomaly. So you can see most areas are brown, but if we actually have a look at the anomaly for what we typically see in a July, you can see we do have a lot of blue specks, and that is where we saw thunderstorm outbreaks, of course. A lot of thunderstorms in the south, across the southwest into the London area through Essex and Kent, a lot around Lancashire through the northwest into Yorkshire. Again, a few days of particularly heavy thunderstorms, and then once again towards the end of the month where we saw an amber warning put in force for those thunderstorms over Scotland. You can see how these have generated such high rainfall totals, getting up to 200% of normal July rainfall, with many areas in the south recording well over 100 millimeters of rain for July. But you can see even close by, some areas getting around average or below average, and in the west, below average, as again, those westerly winds have only been really around for the last few days of the month. Generally, although we've been quite wet in areas, it's been pretty anticyclonic, especially for those weeks where we did have the hotter temperatures. It was all down to thunderstorms and little low pressure systems, little troughs developing, giving these high rainfall totals in very localized areas, and it's why we've seen flash flooding in a few regions. So yeah, it just shows you the big rainfall disparity we had, and it just shows you how difficult it is forecasting using the models, seeing exactly where we're going to see the heaviest rainfall. As you can see, there is such a big gradient between areas in terms of the rainfall amounts over the course of July. If we do have a look at the actual days of rain, so where days have recorded more than a millimetre of rain, you can see across the south we did see around 15 to 20 days of the month. So almost 2/3 of the month have days where we received at least a millimetre of rain. So that's a heavy shower once a day, if not more, of course. You can see further northwards, it was actually not too much rain, only between 5 or 10 or maybe just up to 15 days of rainfall of more than a millimetre. So it just shows you that there were, of course, a lot of showers around, even when we did have the very hot conditions. And you can see by the anomaly that, again, further northwards and for the northwest, it was much lower than average, maybe 10 to 15 less days that we would normally see. Further southwards, maybe 6 to 10 more days than average. So it just shows you how little rain we've really had compared to normal in the northwest, and how much more rain than normal we've had, especially across the south and around the London, Essex, Kent, all the way down into the southwest area as well, purely because of those intense thunderstorms. And talking about thunderstorms, if we do lastly have a look at the actual lightning strikes, and you can see where we've had those extreme thunderstorm outbreaks, and really not many two places missed out. If you haven't seen a thunderstorm throughout July, you've been quite unfortunate having a look at this map, because most of the UK is covered in lightning strikes, all the way across Southern Ireland, even Northern Ireland, and then we saw that outbreak in Scotland, and then many across Northern England, through the Midlands, and then of course down in the south where we saw a lot of thunderstorms, and we had many days of yellow warnings for thunderstorms, and we even have a yellow warning for thunderstorms out right now. We'll be looking at in my video later this afternoon into the evening, so do keep an eye out for that. But you can just see the immense amounts of thunderstorms. There are unfortunately no anomaly charts, as I don't think that they have got data going all the way back to 1981 for lightning strikes. So unfortunately, we can't see how active this storm or this stormy sort of month has been compared to past months. But it's been pretty active for storm lovers out there, and you can see a huge amount of lightning strikes we've had. And it looks like that's going to be continuing today and over the next few days. We do have some more heavy showers around, again, as more low pressure does continually come in. But as I said, we'll be looking in my video later at the unsettled weather. But then there is the potential of a bit of a warm-up towards the middle third of August, with anticyclonic conditions returning and potentially hot weather as well. So anyway, July was, of course, the fifth joint warmest July on record, so very warm month. Had a lot of interesting weather within it. We've had a named storm, intense lightning strikes. We've had extreme amber warnings for heat and thunderstorms. So really big packed month. So we'll just see what August has in store for us now. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you again for another video soon.